Michael Taylor joins us now for more on the holiday travel crush. He's Senior Managing Director of Travel, Hospitality, Retail, and Customer Service at J.D. Power, a data and analytics company. Thanks very much for coming on.
You're welcome.
So we're told by AAA that we're expecting another record travel season. So how well prepared do you think the TSA and frankly the FAA is to deal with that?
Well, I think they're probably as prepared as they have been the last 2 years. And we all sound like a broken record here. You know, we've had record travel volumes in the last 3 holiday periods. This one's expected to be 6% higher. And there really hasn't been much movement in hiring more pilots and hiring more air traffic controllers, and also some TSA agents don't work as much overtime as they used to. That's no knock on them. That's just the way it is at the very moment. So yes, it's going to be a little bit slow. It's going to be hectic. But anybody who travels at Thanksgiving in the United States knows that they need to expect that anyway. But it'll be a little bit worse than it was last year. And again, I'm sorry to sound like a broken record, but that's where we are again this year.
I feel a little bit like a broken record when we talk about travel at this time of the year because it's always so chaotic. But what are the lessons you think airlines have learned about past travel fiascos? You know, you mentioned about staffing. Are they staffed adequately? And are they better prepared for weather disruptions than in the past?
No, I would say that they're not just yet. The biggest lag here is actual pilots, and they take the longest time to develop. And this is something that's been in process for about 18 years now. So there is no quick fix for the airlines themselves. They do have slightly higher to somewhat higher load factors. That's the percentage of seats that are filled in an aircraft, and that's how they're getting as much revenue as they're getting right now. But however, they're not making the profits they used to, and they still haven't been able to hire the people to fly the aircraft. And there's usually no problem with staffing them as far as the airlines crews, the folks that are in cabin. It's the people flying the aircraft. It's the sticking point right now.
Michael, Thanksgiving is coming later this year. How does that impact when people decide to travel? And what's happening with ticket pricing compared to last year?
Well, ticket prices are up, but so is everything else in the United States. I mean, we just came off of a high inflation period, and we're still somewhat in that as well. And airline prices have been very sticky. They have not come down. And why should they? The demand is high, and when the demand is high, you're going to have high ticket prices. So as long as people want to travel, those prices will probably stay high. Again, I'm probably going to be the most surprised person because I keep expecting it to happen every 6-month period, but I keep proving myself wrong here every time. But eventually, I'm going to be right, and ticket prices will drop a little bit. Right now, the demand is there, so the price is going to remain high. I'm sorry to say.
And what about motorists? What can they expect? How do gas prices compare to last year? Because there are more people that are actually driving to their destinations than in the past.
Yes, gas prices are down slightly here in the United States, so that's probably a good thing. But that really doesn't make as much difference in whether people are going to travel by air or by car. It's really the distance that they have to travel and the time that it takes to get there. And that's what really shifts people from one mode of transportation to the other. So when gas prices were high, there was some retardation of people using the car to go see grandma and perhaps flying a shorter period. But that really doesn't make much of a difference with the differences in gas prices this year compared to last year.
And then just from your data and analytics, what are you seeing as far as trends in some of perhaps the top destinations for the holidays domestically, internationally?
Well, there has been a real trend, especially over these summer months, of certain destinations that attract really Instagram users, people who want to take a selfie of themselves, in front of a building or in front of a mountain or a particularly beautiful river, things like that. And we did a story on this network a few months ago about that very topic. Here in this United States, the Thanksgiving holiday is more centered around family, so you're going to a destination where you're probably not going to take as many selfies. You might get some interesting stories online about family Thanksgiving dinner and things like that, but it's very, very different. The type of traveler traveling here in this period is much older, much more family-oriented, and what we've seen in the last few summers is that Gen X, single person who's looking to have an online presence, or create an online presence by going to someplace really cool and photogenic, and that's not what Thanksgiving is in the United States. It's simply family oriented, and that's why it's so heavy. It's because you're generally traveling with someone not just by yourself.
And moving on from Thanksgiving, any last minute tips for those who haven't booked Christmas or New Year's getaways if they plan on doing so?
You should do it now. The prices are not going to get any cheaper. I'm afraid to say that's the forecast that we have. It is going to be expensive all the way through January here for travel. So you might as well get it right now, especially if you want to reserve a particular seat, like a window or an aisle or 3 seats across. If you're traveling with your family, you really should be doing that now for Christmas. There's no need to wait until December rolls around.